Back, we are ready to lay paint down. Right now I have everything hung up. As you can see, we got the fenders hung up, the bumper all taped up, rear of the wide body is all taped up. Basically from here, I just need to give it its final wipe down. I'm gonna clean the floor real fast just because there's dirt and leaves all over the place. So one key thing to always remember when you're about to lay paint is always water the floor. That way the dust doesn't kick up from when you're spraying. So we're gonna, from here, clean the floor. I'm gonna make sure everything else is ready. We're gonna wipe down the car first, and then once that's done, we're gonna go ahead and just pour a bucket of water on the ground, just that way we don't have anything kick up. We have the center of the bumper all taped up, the fender vents all taped up as well. Same with the rear wide body pieces are all taped up. Basically, the black is finally all the way dry, and we're able to just put tape on it. So once we're done painting, we'll be able to peel this tape up, and then we'll have that, you know, the color of the car to the black. So yeah, let's go ahead and start wiping the car down, and we'll get to paint. Everything's been prepped, wiped down, ready to go. I just need to go through it with a tack cloth, pick up whatever's left over, and then it's time to start mixing paint. I sure hope I have a tack cloth left over from the last paint job. If not, I'm gonna have to run and pick one up. The entire car is tacked down. I actually found a couple runs in primer that I didn't realize, so I went ahead and sanded those down. There's one right here, and then one on the hood that was right here. But we went ahead and took care of those. Last thing I would want is to do all this work and then have you see runs that you can't really fix, because if the runs in the primer, you can't really fix that. You can only fix the runs that are in the clear. So yeah, from here, I'm gonna go ahead and mix up some paint, and it's time to get started on this thing. Before we start painting it, I'm gonna wet the floor. I have my little container jug already full, so we're gonna go ahead and pour water all over the floor. As we made a little bit of a mess. We laid down the first coat, and I kept getting a bunch of fish eyes, and I noticed, if you can see all this tiger striping, my paint gun was spraying super weird. Even though I had the fan at full, like fully wide open, and we kept getting fish eyes all over the place. Talked to one of my buddies. One thing I was trying to do different, just because I saw this tip from somebody and clearly they were wrong. They used IPA, so rubbing alcohol, to basically wipe down the car before paint. So I was like, well, that's a lot cheaper than wax and grease remover. Let's go pick some up. So I thought that we'd give that a try. Yeah, no, that caused all the fish eyes we were getting. So I had to basically wet sand almost the entire car. And on top of that, my paint gun wasn't spraying right. So instead of trying to mess with it even more, I just picked up a cheapo Harbor Freight gun. So one that I found that works really well, better than the purple one, is the green ones. They're about 25 bucks. So picked one up, picked up some IPA, already got it loaded up. I'm gonna wait for all this stuff just to dry. I don't really feel like wiping it down, so I'm actually gonna take a little bit of a break right here. But yeah, we're gonna wait for all this to dry. Once it dries, I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with some wax and grease remover in hopes that that takes care of our issue. The weird thing is that these fish eyes didn't happen with the black. The black laid on perfectly, but for some reason, when we went to shoot this black cherry, it was not liking it. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and set up the new gun. Yeah, unfortunately we were basically almost having to start over, so that really sucks. But I mean, such is life, right? So at this point, I'm just gonna wait for all of it to dry. Once it dries, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe it all down with wax and grease remover. Wait for that to dry, and then we're gonna try again. So I'll pick this back up probably in the next couple hours. I'm not entirely sure where I left off in the last clip. I got super stressed and figured I don't really have time to keep messing around grabbing the camera and trying to fix this, so I just started fixing. So we were able to figure out why I was getting all those weird reactions. Apparently it's because I used rubbing alcohol instead of actual wax and grease remover, and that's my own fault. I shouldn't have listened to people on the internet saying it works just as good. So we wet sanded everything. I used wax and grease remover to clean everything up, dried it off, and then from there we were able to lay down our base coat. We have a total of 4 coats of base laid down on every single part of the car. At this point, it's ready for clear coat, but I'm hungry, I'm tired, so we're actually gonna go get dinner real quick. I'm gonna let this flash while I'm gone, and then when we get back, we're gonna wet the floor again, wipe it down with some wax and grease remover again, and start laying down our clear coat. And then by tomorrow, it will be dry, so that way we can start reassembling. Unfortunately, we're gonna be in for an all-nighter. Pulled the tape off of the vents. I really didn't like how they came out. You can see it already pulled up paint, and additionally, the lines aren't even straight. So I should have used this fine line tape before on this one, but hey, you live and you learn. You can see even pulled up a good chunk of paint right there. So we're gonna retape this off. I'm gonna wet sand all these edges down flat, lay a little bit of primer just in that perimeter, and we're gonna redo each vent. Kind of sucks that it happened, kind of glad that it did. Ideally, the way they came out, I wouldn't have been happy with. So glad we're redoing it, glad we're gonna make it look better. Just kind of wish we'd have done that in the first place. The rest of the car came out great. I already pulled the tape off of the bumper. That looks fantastic. I have a little bit of overspray right here. I'm gonna have to find out the best way to get rid of that without damaging the black. And unfortunately, my taping skills just aren't quite what they need to be. You can see right here, I missed the spot. You can see a little bit of primer, and there's the same one over here, which again, you can't really tell unless you really get close to it. So it sucks, but it is what it is. This paint job, aside from those little things, honestly, I'm really impressed with. This one here came out really great. Again, a little bit right here. And on the other side, I got a little bit of overspray right in this area. And again, you can't really even tell, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not gonna obsess over the details. The rest of it honestly came out really great. I'm really stoked with how this looks, and really stoked to lay some clear on this color. But first things first, I gotta fix these vents. So we're gonna retape those up, wet sand all that, and respray that section of the hood. So fingers crossed it comes out better than it did before. And then once that's done, we are ready. The next step is gonna be to start sanding the front lip because it is completely hazed. And then once that's done, we're gonna reassemble the bumper and clear coat the bumper and lip all together, just because A, I'm all out of stands, and B, it'll just make my life easier. So yeah, I'm gonna start on this, and then we'll pick this back up. Guys, we finally got it back completed. I'm so tired. It is 3:12 in the morning. So what we had to do is we had to sand basically almost the entire hood back down. Basically anything from this body line over to that body line. I laid down some new sealer, and then after that we retaped up these lines, and they are a lot cleaner now. So much cleaner. Again, I wish I would have done this from the beginning. Honestly, this whole paint job has just been the definition of do it right or do it twice. I have tried cutting a couple corners, and every time I do, it bites me in the ass. So regardless, we're making progress. The hood's complete. It's ready for clear coat. So next step, getting this front splitter lip sanded down and getting that ready for clear. Once that's done, we're gonna bolt it back up to the front bumper. And then we're gonna start shooting some clear coat. I'm actually debating setting the fenders back on top of setting the fenders on the car, so that way I can just clear coat them on the car. So we'll see where we get to. Regardless, it's time to work on this guy. This guy's pretty beat up. Just over the years, there's a lot of cracking in the gel coat, and you can see over here as well, it's pretty bad. Thankfully, it's pretty thin gel coat, so it shouldn't take too much to sand out, and then we can go ahead and start laying clear coat on the entire car. Lips all done being sanded. Front fenders are back on. Basically at this point we just need to wipe her down and then start mixing up clear coat. I'm so excited for this. Honestly, this is I didn't feel like we'd actually get to this point, so this feels a little unreal to me. But yeah, basically from here, you can see the car is filthy just from all the sanding we've had to do. So we're gonna wipe her down real good. And then yeah, it's time to lay down our first coat of clear. So wish me luck, guys. I cannot afford any more mistakes at this point. At this point, if I have any more mistakes, I'm calling it quits. The car's for sale. Just kidding. We're gonna get this done. All right, guys, it is currently 7:30 in the morning. I haven't slept, but great news, the car is done, and this color is absolutely insane. You can see the lines on the hood. It came out a ton better this go around. Bumper's all reassembled, front lip is clear coated, back bumper all done. Man, I can't even believe it came out this good. Wow, I am just like in utter disbelief. I'm not gonna even, like, the camera doesn't do it justice. This color is insane. So again, the color is called Black Cherry Pearl. One thing I did different with this color though is I actually mixed in I think it was like 24 ounce, I can't even remember how much it was, but 2 containers, 2 small jars of crimson red pearl. So that way it could flop over a little bit more to red, which we can see that's what it did. And then on top of that, in the clear coat, on the first 2 coats, I did a small amount of gold flake, and see if it'll focus on it. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. So yeah, I did a small amount. I did 1 teaspoon amount of gold flake, and I did that on the first 2 coats. And then on the 3rd coat of clear, I just buried it in there. So I laid the 3rd coat of clear super wet. That way it could bury that flake in there, so that way it wouldn't that way you wouldn't feel it. So this is it. This car came out insane. But that does it for today, guys. Again, it is 7:30 in the morning. I am ready to go to sleep. I have not slept in 24 hours. So I'm gonna go to sleep. In the meantime, this is gonna cure. And then once I'm up, we're gonna start reassembling the entire car. And once it's reassembled, it's time to focus on the STI. The STI needs to get finished for the same show that is on Sunday. It is currently Friday. So we're making good progress. I'm stoked to see the car done. Honestly, I didn't think I was ever gonna get this far. So the fact that we made it we started this whole project 2 weeks before the show. So I didn't think we were gonna make it, to be completely honest. I kind of set myself up for a very unrealistic timeline when it comes to doing body work and painting a car. But nonetheless, we made it. And yeah, so from here, all that's left is just putting it back together. Guys, don't know where we left off in the last clip, but I got tired and I got busy and I needed to get this car done. It's 2 in the morning. Sunday morning. The show's in 10 hours. And the car is officially complete. It's off of jack stands, aired all the way out. I need to clean it tomorrow. So plan for tomorrow is we're gonna detail it. And then I gotta wet sand the roof because I got some overspray on there, so it's a little hazy. But damn, I cannot believe I pulled this off in 2 weeks time. Everything looks incredible. I can't wait to pull it out in the sun and see what it looks like, but we'll pick this back up in the morning. So this whole video has been approximately about 3 days in the making, so I apologize. I kind of left you guys hanging when we were fixing the hood, but I needed to get it done, and picking up the camera and recording was just taking up so much time that I figured, I'm like, I'll just show you guys in the end. But anyway, this is it. We'll pull it out tomorrow morning, get a good view at it, see what it looks like under the sun, And yeah, we'll probably take you guys along for the show too. It's actually been about a week since the last clip. Honestly, I just got super busy with the show coming up, and I needed to get to the car to the show, so I had to put it all back together and didn't really have time to film, let alone time to edit. So I apologize for the delay, but the EVO's complete. We made it to the show. It wasn't anything special. To be completely honest with you, I'm not very happy with the results of the car. But here it is. Don't mind it. It's super dirty. I was actually just wet sanding and polishing it. So this side right here, I have it all wet sanded and polished, and we can see is very smooth. But if we look at the other side, the one I haven't gotten to yet, the orange peel is drastic. Like, you can see it even just on camera. The roof has a ton of overspray, so honestly it didn't even come out that great. The hood came out decent, but still very a lot of orange peel. Needless to say, I'm not happy with it, but the car's done. We can fix the issues from here. So here's my plans on what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sand down the entire car with 1000 grit. I'm gonna just buzz it all with the DA. I'm gonna wet sand the edges just by hand, and we're gonna re-clear coat the car. That's kind of really the only option to try and save this paint job. I'm really bummed. It's the best paint job I've done except for the clear coat. Paint itself laid on super smooth. I have excellent coverage everywhere. It's not like on the S2000. The S2000, we didn't get the greatest coverage in the edges, and you can kind of see it on all around the car. All the edges have not the greatest coverage. You can see it lightens up a lot, and even just like in this panel right here, see if I can make it lighter, but you can see right here it's more blue than it is purple, and I wasn't very happy with that. But the clear coat on that one on the S2000 came out great, but on the EVO, so here's what happened. I bought a paint gun from Amazon. I'll actually walk into it, I'll show you. And this paint gun had great reviews. I've actually ordered a similar one in the past and worked great. While I was laying primer, I noticed that the fan pattern wasn't wide. It was almost like as if I had the fan closed entirely, and that was with the fan wide open. So I chucked it. Didn't have time to order another one because the show was in like less than 48 hours. So I went and picked up a Harbor Freight one. And I've never had a Harbor Freight paint gun fail me so bad, where the clear coat was not atomizing correctly, and it was just coming out almost like dry. I had my PSI set to 25 PSI, which is where I always shoot my clear at. The only thing I can possibly think outside of the factor of the paint gun is maybe it was a warmer night. It was like in the mid 60s, low 70s, and I'm using a medium activator. But medium activator should be good between 70 and 85 degrees. So it wasn't too hot past that. So I don't know. Either way, we're gonna sand it all down and re-clear coat it, because it's embarrassing. I was actually genuinely embarrassed at the show that the clear coat was so bad. It was honestly the second to worst paint job at the entire show. Like, the paint itself is fine, but the clear coat just made it look terrible. And honestly, I felt like embarrassed. So we're gonna redo it. That's all we can do. So that's probably gonna be for the next video, but for now, I'm gonna move this S2000 out of the way. We'll pull the EVO in, tape it up, and yeah, you guys will get to watch that process all in the next video. But we'll finish it off from here. Again, I'm sorry that I got super inconsistent in posting, when picking up the camera and recording was just taking up too much time. But I mean, we got the car done, we got the car there, but I wasn't happy with the results. But we'll leave it there. You know, same as always, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. I do appreciate when you guys do comment. Let me know what you guys think about it, and, you know, give me tips too. So, you know, feel free to let me know your thoughts. Again, not super stoked. I love the color. I think the color looks great. I wish I would have done a better job on the clear coat. But it is what it is. You can see the lines of the carbon came out great. That's fine. But yeah, even on the side that I cut and buff, the reason I'm re-clearing the car, see if we can see it on camera, but even after buffing it, it's kind of hard to sell, but there's like a slight haze right here, and nothing I do can make it go away. So I figured I'm not going to spend another 8 hours cutting and buffing the rest of the car, so we're just going to sand it all and re-clear it, because that's going to take me about the same amount of time anyway, and at least it'll be a little bit more fun. So yeah, bummed out, guys, but it is what it is. Anyway, we'll see you in the next video.